Welcome to The Practical Intuitive, where each Monday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 Eastern, where host Robin Fritz explores mind, body, and spirit for the real world. Because we are all intuitives and healers, and we must all learn to love ourselves and live that love every day. Robin is a trained and certified intuitive and spiritual consultant and hypnotherapist with an international practice based in Seattle, Washington. As the Practical Intuitive, she covers personal and business intuition, animal communication, mediumship, space clearing, past life regression, shamanic insights, energy healing, soul choice. It's all here. Readings, healings, and funny, warm, thought-provoking conversations. It's Robin Fritz, the Practical Intuitive, helping you mastermind body and spirit for the real world. No ifs, ands, buts, or BS ever.
Welcome to the Practical Intuitive, Mind, Body, Spirit for the Real World. It's Robin Fritz. We are live in Seattle, Washington, and this is our first show for spring. And so today we are going to be talking with our radio sponsor and fascinating and funny crystal expert, Kim Villines of Earthlight Rocks and Gems, about crystals for spring. So that'll be fun, and we'll see what she has to say about that. So as always, my work is here to support yours, to really help people tap into their own intuitive and healing abilities, because I know for a fact that we are all intuitives and healers. We just need to learn how to tap those skills. So my work as an intuitive and spiritual consultant and certified past life regression specialist actually covers several areas. I do personal and business intuition, mediumship, animal communication, and space clearing. But past life regression, soul progression clearing, spiritual awakening, spiritual journeys, and energy healing. And one of the things that I know for sure is that crystals really support us on our journey, and they support us mind, body, and spirit. So you can find a crystal to help you with a particular difficulty in your life, or to just admire for their beauty or spiritual endeavor. There are just so many uses for crystals. Crystals and herbs are the two things that have been with us since the beginning, and we're lucky to live in a time where we're actually getting reacquainted with both our herbal knowledge and our crystal knowledge, and that's why it's so cool to have Kim Villines with us today. But if you have a question, something you'd like to talk with us about for a crystal for you in particular, or looking for a quick reading, please call 202-570-7057. Or if you have a comment, or you would like to comment on a future show, or you have something that you'd like me to look at for you, but you're shy and don't want to come on the radio, I understand that. So email me at my website at robinfritz.com. That's ROBYNFRITZ.com. So let's get started on the show today, as we always do, with a meditation with my crystal partner, Fallon, who is a citrine Lemurian quartz. Now, that is a very rare combination by itself, and Fallon is particularly rare. Now, all crystals are ancient, or at least a lot older than we are. But Fallon is an ancient power crystal. We came back together in 2009. Which means, yes, we had past lives together. So one of these shows with Kim, we're going to be talking about that. But right now, I just want you to tap into the energy of Fallon, however your intuition works most strongly. So you may see pictures, you may feel his energy, you may hear him chat with you, or you may simply know that he's connected to you right now and for this hour, wherever you are, whether you're listening live or in the archives. So if you take your attention to the top of your head, imagine this crystal, which is currently in the shape of a crystal ball, connecting with you, mind, body, and spirit. And as you breathe down from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, you're going to just let everything clear out, all the cares of the day, everything that you were doing today, whatever worries and doubts you have, so that you're free and grounded and balanced in this space with us, and this is your time to be you. So starting at the top of your head, breathe down your face, your shoulders, your chest, your hips, your knees, and your feet. The top of your head to the bottom of your feet. And just feel that work really fast, just clearing you out. And now imagine Fallon, this crystal ball with a faint yellowish cast, which is the citrine, moving up outside your body from your bottom of your feet to the top of your head. And as you do that, you can just welcome that healing energy into your body. Imagine it going straight to your heart and just flooding your body with healthy energy. So moving up from the bottom of your feet, past your knees, your hips, your chest, your shoulders, your face, and the top of your head, your crown chakra. Many people tell me their crown chakras are wide open when we're working with Fallon in particular. So if you feel a little dizzy or lightheaded, don't worry. We'll close you down at the end of the hour. So, today I asked Kim Villines if she would talk with us about crystals for spring. And I just have a few things to say before we jump into that. And that's that, this is not just our first show of the year, first spring show of the year, but spring is coming a bit hard here in the United States, and I know for other countries as well. Massive snowstorms, heavy rains in places they're not expecting it, like California, and even here in Seattle last Friday morning, we had a little bit of snow mixed in with the rain shower. So granted, spring has started. We're seeing crocuses and daffodils and now tulips starting up here. Everything is starting to pop. But what does spring mean to you? And that's one of the things I'd like you to consider today as we talk about crystals that will support you for spring. Historically, every single year we look at the long winter is ending. We see all around us concrete evidence that life continues. And that could be a great comfort, especially if you've lost someone, human or animal, part of your life, and you're learning to live with that loss, which means that I understand very well that spring can be painful for people because new life is sprouting around you, and you may look and go, oh, but I've lost someone, or I'm having job woes, or maybe not getting as along as well with people around you, or you're looking at changes and transitions in your life and you're concerned, but also excited because spring is a chance where we can just leap into new growth. And so there's a lot going on in spring. And one of my favorite things is I live on Puget Sound, which is salty, Pacific Ocean. And so one of the things that I appreciate about spring is the sea lions barking out in the ocean. It's like, okay, spring is here. The sea lions are acting up. But here's the other thing. I've lived most of my life in a temperate climate here in the Pacific Northwest. So we have seasons here, but they're not real harsh, as a rule. We know when the seasons change, but we're not dealing with feet of snow as in other places, or the extremes of heat like in the Southwest United States. And if you're in the opposite part of the world, in Australia, New Zealand, your seasons are completely different from ours. But I lived in Michigan for 10 years, and I was like amazed because it snowed, and to me, a blizzard is 1 inch of snow. We just don't have that much snow. So I was stunned to see snow coming down inches at a time, and people were still going to work. It was like, what? It was like, you're not supposed to go to work when it snows. So the first winter that I lived there, feet and feet of snow, I felt when spring came that I'd earned spring. The flowers were coming out, and it's like, I survived and so did they. And so if you have experienced harsh winters, you know what I'm saying. But it also gives us an opportunity to stop and reflect. Okay, we wake up and just like nature does, from the tough business of surviving winter and maybe surviving the things that have been holding us back. Mind, body, and spirit, intuitively and spiritually, on our path, on our journey through life, where our job is always to continue that tough job of growing our souls day in and day out. And that's where crystals can come in and support us. So with that, I'd like to welcome Kim Villines of Earthlight Rocks and Gems. Hey, Kim. Hi. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Robin. It's nice to talk to you
Yay.
today.
It's cool.
So I've got lots on our list to talk about today.
We do. You always have so many crystals for people to explore. So tell us about crystals for spring.
So I figured a couple things that we would touch on. Spring
Cool.
and also harmony, to be in harmony for the spring and everything, the new beginnings. It's always a nice thing to be in harmony with
Perfect.
yourself and in life. So we'll talk about the first one, actually, and I'm going to throw this in. This is one of the surprise ones I didn't give you any
Okay,
info on
cool.
ahead of
I
time.
love surprises. Good
And this
surprises.
actually is my favorite stone and has been since I was a little girl.
Oh my
This is
gosh.
called Mookite.
Okay.
Mookite jasper from Australia. And it actually is, it's a stone for fertilization. It's good for helping fertilize an egg, for also the moment that the spirit enters the fetus, it helps with that journey. It's a
Oh my
rainmaker
gosh.
stone, great for gestating women, but also it's a stone for gardeners. So obviously springtime, you're out there
Good.
gardening, it's helping with the rain, it helps with dehydration and droughts. I know as the weather goes on, it seems like we get one or the other. You either have too much water or not enough.
Right.
It's hard to have that happy medium. So, but this stone is, great for fertilization for the new beginnings that are happening this time of year, but also new beginnings in the garden and out in nature.
So say it again and spell it for people.
So it's Mookaite, and I've heard it pronounced multiple ways, but I pronounce it Mookite. But I've heard people say Mook, Mookiite. It's basically a jasper, and it has multiple different colors: reds, plums, yellows, creams, and a lot of times you'll find pieces with all of those colors all together. It's a beautiful stone. It's a jasper. When I say it's from Australia, of course, there's lots of different types of jaspers, but this one in particular is from that locality. And I don't know, it just has this really down-to-earth tribal feels. To me, it just feels like home. It just is tribal, and it's your root chakra. Granted, if it has a lot of yellows, then it goes into the third, and it can have multiple chakras on there too. So. But yeah,
That
that is
is
a
awesome.
wonderful stone.
I'm hearing
Yeah.
Fallon in the background yelling, "We don't have enough jasper in our house. I want one of those." And I'm like, "Okay, just relax, son." But
Yeah,
it's like,
it's a wonderful
okay.
stone.
So asking him to like relax a little bit here so I can hear you. But
Okay.
the Mookite jasper for the garden, how would people use it in the garden? Would they like just put it
Well, you
out
could put a
there?
piece of tumbled or a piece of raw or tumbled, either one. You could put it out in the garden. Yeah, just to facilitate that. Or you could do, as we talked about, we were talking earlier, you could also do a grid. You could do
Right.
a grid in your house, and you could have different stones for whatever you want to influence and what's going on. So fertility, you could have fertility with some clear quartz to enhance that. Maybe some protection, stones, and some for love, and then just kind of combine that all together in a grid. Grid your house, or even grid the garden with that. Do a little grid in the middle of your garden for growth and love and protection and, fertility, all in the same garden. That would be really sweet. So there's
Wow,
not
that's
a right or
cool.
wrong way to do it, but there's, you kind of go with some people. You can print out grids, different patterns. A lot of times they'll be fractal, meaning like a spiral, or they'll have the repeating pattern over and over. But it doesn't have to be fancy. You can do kind of whatever you want. Typically, you'll
But,
have a
people
center
could put it in those
piece.
stones, like they make cement
Yeah.
stones, and
Oh,
that way it
yeah,
would
you
be
could.
right.
Yeah,
That'd
you
be
could do
cool.
there's like a cement kind of thing, and you lay your different patterns in there. You could do a permanent grid that way, have a little grid in there, and then and have that be a stepping stone in the middle of your garden or along right side your garden. That would be, that would be
Yeah, that's
beautiful.
awesome. That's cool.
Lots of
So
ideas there.
what different sizes and can people buy from you? What different forms?
Well, since it's my favorite stone, I have like everything.
Okay.
I have tumbled, small, large. I have slabs of it. We have jewelry of it. I even have carved animals out of it. So there's lots of options for mookaite.
So they should just
It's
call
pretty
you
much
up
anything
or
you want.
email you and
Yep.
find out how
Oh,
to get a piece.
Yeah, we also have some on our Etsy, but yeah, we have them in the store and we have them on our Etsy. But you can email or send me a message or call. Yeah.
That's
Anyway.
great. So why do you think it's your favorite stone?
I don't know. I think it's just because it's. I'm not really sure. It's how sometimes you just don't know.
Something
it just
just
feels
really
like home.
attracts you.
There's something there. I've always been mothering and love kids, and of course I'm a mom and a grandma, so maybe there's some of that. But I've loved it way sooner than I was a mom, so it just feels like home. I'm very, very earth, earth oriented, Mother Nature, and this just feels like part of the earth. It just draws you in.
Okay, and that form of jasper, but we're going to run into a commercial here, but jasper in general has all kinds of different uses, right?
It does. It's a very healing stone.
Okay, hang on. We'll be back after the break.
Okay, thanks.
Your conscious connection to a more mindful world. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
Change and growth are part of natural life and also part of your spiritual life. Everyone needs support and guidance, especially during life passages. Upgrade yourself with the OMTimes Experts program. With OMTimes Experts, you have access to the best intuitive coaches, spiritual teachers, counselors, astrologists, and oracles. Our team was carefully selected so you can trust. Find out more at experts.omtimes.com.
Hello, I'm Lisa Berry. Join me every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for Light on Living, a chance to see new, hear different, and feel more as I shine the spotlight on all the ways to lighten the load of life's challenges. Light on Living is your link to that new way you're looking for, that new understanding that will enhance your life, and that positive connection that will support your growth. So join me and you'll gain insight and start to see things in a new way that motivates you.
Shopping for yourself or loved ones? Check out the best rock shop around, Earthlight Rocks and Gems in Kirkland, Washington. Whether you're looking for metaphysical support or just love nature's art, Earthlight has it all. Raw rocks, crystals, tumbled stones of all kinds, carvings, cabs, fossils, tumblers, rare minerals in all price ranges, and books. They also have jewelry, including custom pieces and beads to make your own. Open 7 days a week, the Earthlight store has been around since 1988 and is run by Kim and Todd Villines. Find them online at earthlightgems.com, at Etsy at earthlightgems.etsy.com, or on Facebook at Earthlight Rocks and Gems. Have a question? Email Kim at the store, earthlightgems.com. And just for OMTimes listeners, receive 10% off orders over $50 at their Etsy account with coupon code EarthlightGems. That's earthlightgems.etsy.com or the store at earthlightgems.com.
I'm Fidel Nshombo. I was born in a city called Bukavu in the Congo. We were a loving family, and then, boom, everything that I had disappeared in a single day. People think that when you are a refugee and they resettle you to America, and all your problems are done. They don't understand that that's the beginning of everything. I was not born a refugee. I was made one.
It's time we welcome refugee families with open arms. Learn more at embracerefugees.org, brought to you by the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Practical Intuitive Mind, Body, Spirit for the Real World. It's Robin Fritz. We're live in Seattle, Washington. And I'm joined by Kim Villines, our crystal expert, really the world's crystal expert at Earthlight Rocks and Gems here in Kirkland, Washington. And I just want to remind you, if you're listening live and you'd like Kim, to help you pick out a crystal today for your use, call us at 202-570-7057, or if you just want to ask a question about crystals, please join us. But we are thrilled here. So we've been talking about Mookite Jasper, Kim. So what else? I'm really interested in that. I think I have to get one.
I think you'll have to see. Yeah, when you come in and get your selenite, we'll all show you the Mookite in person.
Okay, I will do that.
Sounds good. So the next one that I had on my list to talk about today is bronzite. And that bronzite this is a great one for enhancing harmony. And it also works well, it's attuned to musical personalities or atmospheres. So someone that loves music or is a musician or in the music field, this would be a great stone for enhancing harmony and music. It stimulates self-expression and physical grace. Which is, I paused there because that's obviously very nice for that.
I'm sorry, I missed
and physical grace.
Say that again, I missed that.
It stimulates self-expression and physical grace.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it also provides strength to withstand, bad atmosphere, like discordant atmospheres. So like if you were having to be in a hospital or work in a police area, police officer, or in a court system, or having to deal with that, going to court or going to the hospital or, going to police department, or different things that would normally be obviously more of a disruption and very stressful time. The bronzite can help increase harmony around those different times in your life that are struggles.
That sounds like a really valuable crystal to have. What does it look like?
So bronzite it's kind of a golden bronze, which obviously hence the name. It doesn't form in a crystal formation. It forms in a massive formation. So typically when you see it, it's just going to be raw or polished, and most of the time polished. And the reason why is because it's got these beautiful kind of almost glistening bronze kind of color. It's hard to describe it, but if you look it up online, you can kind of see it's got that different qualities in it that make it almost sparkle.
So when it's polished, then that enhances that.
Exactly, which is why most of the time you see it polished, because it's so beautiful when it's polished up. So, and I only have it in tumbled form, which is the little polished stones, and I might have some jewelry. I'd have to look and see if I have any right now, but I for sure have tumbled stones of it. And that's something that you would have in a pocket, or you could even wrap it for jewelry, or just carry it with you. Have it in your music room or studio, or carry it in your pocket.
That's cute. I never thought of a crystal for music before, but that's because I'm not thinking about it. But it sounds awesome. And the cool thing about the tumbled stones, the smaller ones, is you can buy a whole variety of them because they're not like $1 zillion.
Yeah,
so you can
it's
have
very
a whole
inexpensive.
bunch of them around the house and experiment with them.
Yeah, well, and I figured, this springtime, and we're talking about spring and harmony, and kind of being at one and attuning to those self-expressions, and I thought that would be a good stone to talk about. So
that's
for
awesome.
increasing harmony for spring.
So,
Next
what do
one.
people say
Oh,
when they come in and look at the bronzite?
oh, they just love the rich of the color. It's literally. Can you picture bronze but in a stone? It's almost like
I know I
bronze
keep
and
missing
copper
these.
mixed.
This is another one I haven't seen. So, goodness
I
gracious.
know.
Guess what I'm going to be
Well, I'm
bringing
sure
home?
full of all kinds of surprises today, huh?
That's cool.
So the next one on my list is moss agate.
Okay.
Do you know that one?
I do not. None of these that you had listed today I know, so I'm all excited about hearing about.
There we
Of
go.
course, bad because I'm going to want one of each of them. I know it.
Oh, it will be fine. I have little ones, so you don't have to spend too much. So no
Well,
worries on that.
you know Fallon. He wants the biggest of everything.
Well, we have some of those too. So the moss agate is also good for harmony. It works in a different way though. It improves circulation in blood and the lymphatic system and helps improve your digestion. The moss agate it's basically an agate, so it has some white or translucent areas, and it has what looks like moss in it, but it's not. It's green. It's just green. It's agate with green running through the white or clear. And so that's how it got its name, because it literally looks like moss running through an agate. And many people always think that it is, but it's not a fossil. It's not moss trapped in an agate. It just has that look. But it is beautiful, and it seems like the more translucent pieces really can show that off. The key attribute is harmony. For that, it also is good to connect your heart with your crown, because it has the white and the green. So the heart chakra is the green, and the crown can be white or purple, violet. So the white and the crown and the heart connect. So it's good for meditation, daily manifestations of compassion and action. So you've got that two meridians coming together.
Wow, that's interesting.
Pretty
And you
nice
know what
harmony.
I'm hearing in the background, that it's really useful for pregnancy.
Oh, well, you never know.
Yeah,
The
I'm just
mookaite was
hearing
more
that
for
coming.
pregnancy, but yeah.
Right. It's
Well,
just
circulation
feels like
and
that.
lymphatic systems, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Supporting the body and helping the body be nice and healthy and supporting new life too.
Oh, of course, yeah. Well,
Interesting.
anything that's going to help your circulation, your blood, your
Hmm.
lymphatics, and your digestion is good for anybody at any time.
Right. And good for spring too, because you know, I think a lot of us are like it's waking, you know, like the bears are coming out of hibernation, and it's kind of like we are too. I mean, I have to be out at least 5 times a day because I have a dog I have to walk, and like being outside, but spring comes and you just feel like things are moving again, right? More
It's
energy.
true.
Yeah, so anything that helps support that is great.
Well, and a lot of us kind of hibernate a little bit more in the winter, maybe put on a little 2 pounds, need to get out and start getting active again, anything to get our digestion and immune system kicking back in after kind of
Right.
and also it
And
seems
all the
like
fresh
everybody's been
greens.
getting colds. Mhm.
Yeah,
Colds from
pretty
the
soon.
weather changing. Yeah.
Yeah, well, none of us are going to mind the weather changing.
No, but you know how your body, when the barometer changes, you seem like, at least I do, and I've noticed a lot of people out there, when the barometer changes so drastically, we've literally had snow, hail, and then sunshine in
Right.
just days apart here in Washington.
Or on the
So
same
it
day, like
seems like,
Friday.
or on the same day, yeah, so we're on the same day. But when the weather shifts so dramatically, it kind of messes up our barometer, and it seems like it'll kick your immune system hard, and if you're susceptible to getting sick, you're going to get sick. So anything that can kind of boost that and help you get over something or help you at least move along or help you fight it so you don't get sick is always nice.
You know, I have a question on that. You know, I know my dad had rheumatoid arthritis, and when the weather would change, he would have extra aches and pains, so he could always tell a day ahead or so, the barometric pressure would change and something like that. Would something like moss agate support people with immune system dysfunction like that? You're talking about digestion, of course, but
yeah, well, any of the stones that have green, the different elements that support the green, the heart chakra, are for physical healing. So moss agate would be one, but also like malachite, green fluorite, bloodstone would probably be even better because it's kind of for that kind of thing. It's for blood circulation, but also it can help inflammation and cancer and all kinds of other things, but it's a healing stone. Green jade is good. So all the green stones are really good for physical healing. So yes, moss agate would be one of them, but arthritis, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Oh, another one I'm going to have to check out.
I know. Well, I don't know how many. I have actually 3 more stones, but I don't know if you have to wait all you have time for.
Well,
but I'll
we've
go
got
into
time.
the next
Keep
one.
Going. I want to hear
so
more.
The next one is the next one is sunstone,
Okay.
and this one is also harmony. I know I looked up a bunch of different ones for harmony. So sunstone. So in the yellow and the darker shades. So sunstone in Oregon is yellow, typically yellow, but can have schiller of orange or green running through it if you're lucky, green, but not very often. And from India, sunstone is typically orange. So in the yellow and darker shades, it projects light into the lower heart chakra, causing friendly harmonies, harmonious responses in your will force, like your will. So it helps support that. And then the yellow, the ones that are more yellow, are good for cleansing and rebuilding your kidneys, your liver, and counteracts cell degeneration. So it aids in proper digestion, reducing acid. It helps make your aura safer for opening up for healing. So if somebody's doing healing work on you, or you're trying to do healing work on someone else, sunstone can aid in opening up, or yourself, opening up your aura to help it be safer to do healing work. So that's kind of nice. It puts a different spin on harmony. And then I'll get into one that everybody knows, this one. But you may not know everything it does. You should.
I want to ask a quick question on the sunstone.
The sunstone, sure.
I'm wondering about, I know this is slightly different from the spring thing, but I'm wondering about grief support in a yellow stone like that. I know there are other crystals for grief support, but I'm wondering about sunstone.
Well, I haven't really thought of it in that way. Typically, the ones that are good for grief, my go-to is always green jade.
Right.
But also rose quartz is nice. It's got emotional healing. But the green jade, I carried jade for 2 years after I lost my parents. It helped me get through that tough time. Typically, the sunstone's not really going to hit on the chakras needed for grief. But, I mean, it helps you with your will.
Yeah.
It'd be your will moving forward. So I guess in that kind of way, if you're stuck in a rut because of grief, it can help you get to the right, maybe push you forward to do what you need to do, to have more will to function. Yeah.
Yeah, mostly the yellow is for support and like spring renewal and getting the blood going again.
Right. It's more your gut, exactly. It's more your gut area, right? Your gut to move forward, have harmony, helping with healing, and but it's more that chakra, the third chakra, second and third.
And it's really important too, though, Kim. I go to the farmers.
Important.
Yeah, I go to the farmers market every weekend. I kind of skip it in the winter time because it's like, okay, I don't need to go every Sunday in the cold, freezing weather to buy squash. But
there's not as many things to choose from either.
Well, that's right. And I'm sorry, there's background noise going on here. Somebody just rang. That's what live radio is all about. But which I lost my train of thought on the yellow.
You're saying going to the markets?
Oh, thank you. Yes, because spring has a lot of spring greens that are good for, like you were talking about, digestion and getting your kidneys and so on going. So you've got dandelion greens and all of those kinds of greens that really aren't available the rest of the year fresh like that from the market. So it feels like a nice pairing with some of these crystals. You know, you're eating that new green growth, green garlic and things like that you only get one time a year really fresh. So that's what that made me think of.
Oh, exactly. We want to keep ourselves healthy on the inside and the outside. So with food and with the stones and with our attitude and the things that we do, all can help us be healthy.
Awesome.
In every way, emotional and physical.
And we need that all the time because you never know what's going to knock you off balance.
That's true. And there's always things out there. It's, you know, life is going to be, it's tough, definitely tough sometimes. And so it's kind of how we deal with those situations and how we overcome them that make us stronger and make us happy in life. If you dwell on the negative, then you're going to have a really tough life. But if you dwell and focus on the positive things that you have, even if it's just little minute things, positive things every day, then you'll be much happier in life and you'll be healthier because you're not focusing on the darker,
you can put
negative
the tough things in perspective, right?
Right, exactly. So the next one I wanted to talk about today is a stone that we all know, but maybe don't know much about. We'll touch on it after the break. I just heard the noise.
Yep. Awesome. Good. Hang on there.
That was good, wasn't it?
Good job, Kim.
A conscious lifestyle for a mindful life. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free. AscendingHearts.com.
Hello, I'm Sandy Sedgbeer, host of OMTimes Magazine's flagship radio show, What is Going On? My passion is sifting through information, research, and innovations from new thought teachers, speakers, and researchers pushing back the boundaries of what we know about life, energy, metaphysics, and the universe. I love shifting perceptions about who we are, why we're here, and how quickly impossible becomes normal when we open our minds, expand our awareness, and accept that the only limits that exist are those we place upon ourselves. So if you're the kind of forward-thinking, eager investigator of what lies beyond the current reality that most perceive, why not make a date to come play with me in the field of possibilities at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time every Thursday, and together we can discover what's really going on.
Today we decided to walk to school. The light counted. 15, 14,
31, 13.
We took a left on Carroll Street. Danny's smart, but he gets distracted. He realized he forgot his homework. I hope he doesn't have another bad day at school.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org. Brought to you by Understood and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Practical Intuitive Mind, Body, Spirit for the Real World. It's Robin Fritz. We're in Seattle, Washington. And I'm having a great time, as usual, when Kim Villines joins us, talking about crystals for spring and crystals for harmony with Kim Villines of Earthlight Rocks and Gems. So that was great moving into the break there, Kim. Perfect timing. So what else did you want to tell us about today?
So the one that I was talking about right before the break is I want to talk about turquoise. We all have seen turquoise and know some about turquoise. But I don't know if you know the different things that turquoise can help with. So turquoise helps balance electrical issues in the body. It combines well with iolite and calcite to address also physical issues if you add that in with the mix. I'll break it down because typically turquoise you find either in blue or green, and the most common is the blue. But blue turquoise helps with depression, mood swings, mental clarity, and concentration. And the green turquoise can help with healing. Mainly the green is more of a healing mineral for the physical needs. It's a stone that can reclaim soul's past lessons, which is pretty nice. So, if you've had, obviously, multiple lives, or if you believe in that, and you've got lessons you learn in every life, but we sometimes don't retain that information and end up having to repeat the lessons over and over, which kind of sucks. So the green turquoise not only can be a physical healer, but it can help you ascertain some of those, reclaim some of those lessons that your soul has learned in the past. You're not having to repeat that, but that you can use that for your prowess and for your current life that you are living now.
Turquoise is a pretty popular crystal, and I'm sitting here with my turquoise necklace that actually called me from Gardner, Montana, which is on my trip to Yellowstone some years ago, and I don't know whether it's blue or green. I never thought of it. It's sitting here against my green fleece jacket and blending in, but that could be blue as well. So with our local Native American population creating turquoise necklaces, what are they using?
Well, most of the time you see blue. You don't see as much green as you used to back in the day, so I'd have to see your necklace to ascertain which color it would fall into. I have a turquoise ring that I wear that was my grandmother's, and then my dad wore it, and then I'm the third generation. And it's actually a green turquoise. Most people don't even recognize it as being turquoise because the color is a little bit different than what they've seen. But turquoise colors range. Yeah, they range quite a bit. Even the blues range quite a bit, and so do the greens. So, yeah, it can. And the turquoise has a lot of other benefits. I was just touching on some of the ones that we can talk about today, pages and pages of different things that turquoise is good for, which is why back in the day, and still today, a lot of the Native Americans use that in their medicine bags and for different healing things and in their jewelry because it is so well known as a healing tool.
Right. And, I'm drawn from the very beginning in working with crystals it turns out their principal use for most of the ones that I have are grounding and balance, which was really important early on when I was learning to work with weather and land systems, and they're just quite a bit larger than we are. So it's a much different energy. But I see a lot of people use turquoise. And in fact, someone was commenting yesterday on the grocery store with my turquoise necklace, and I only wear it when I'm working, and I happened to be working yesterday. But what forms do you carry at the store for people?
So turquoise, we have pretty much all different forms. I have raw pieces. Yeah, raw pieces, polished pieces, small, big. We have jewelry, of course, because everybody loves the jewelry. It's harder and harder to get the natural turquoise. A lot of times you'll see the dyed howlite or other stones that are dyed, and it'll be a faux turquoise. It won't be the natural stone. Turquoise is a softer stone, so most of the time when you see it polished or in jewelry, it's always going to be stabilized. And what that means is, so if you go to cut and polish most turquoise, I'd say probably 95 to 98% of turquoise has to be stabilized if you want to work it, meaning if you want to cut and polish. And the reason why is it's a softer stone, and typically it'll crumble or break, and it won't withstand the pressures needed to do that. So pretty much most of the turquoise you're seeing that's tumbled or polished or in jewelry is all going to be stabilized, which they do that in a few different ways. Most common is they'll inject the turquoise in with like a resin, and what will happen, it will fill in all the cracks. And so either they use a resin or a glue, one or the other, and it will kind of hold it together so that the turquoise, when you go to cut and polish and sand and different things you have to do, it won't just break apart into crumbly mess. Otherwise, it just doesn't have enough structure. That makes sense.
Well, how does turquoise get the other colors in it? Like I'm looking at my necklace and it has some like red or, I don't know, dark brown.
Oh, a lot of times it does other, you have the matrix that comes in. Sometimes it'll have some cooperite, which is more of a red and brown. It can have other stones, other elements, right? So just like all the stones have elements that make up that stone. So the different impurities in the turquoise will make the different colors. And that's with all the stones. Anytime you have multiple colors in a stone, it's the different impurities in that stone, the different elements that change the colors.
So impurities can be beautiful.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's what, perfect is boring. And that's what gives us character in life and nature and personalities and people and everything. Yes.
There you go.
Sure.
There you go. Awesome.
That is a must. To be honest, the more character it has, I like it. Yeah.
There you go. So excuse me. Oh, sorry. We've got just a few minutes left for today. Tell people a little bit. We're talking crystals for getting the blood flowing again, and our digestion, and just getting our bodies ready for spring, which isn't as big a deal for us now as it was for our ancestors who really had to work hard all the time to get food.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, it is true. So if somebody wanted to create a collection of crystals, and we're talking about spring, we're talking about gardens, a collection of crystals to support them inside, but they could also like put outside during the day to encourage their garden, you just pull all of these together?
You could pull all of these together, or just pick out ones that call to you. So what I would do is, if you have that intention in mind, look at the different stones, either in person or online, or just look up the and see what you're drawn to, see what resonates with you, and then choose that way. It's one thing for me to tell you, or for someone else to tell you what works for you. It's pretty hard unless they know you well. So you have to go with your energy, with the stone's energy.
And that works.
That's really the only way to pick it. Yeah. And then you find one that's attuned just for you. So that's always
perfect.
The way.
So first, let's quickly run back through the list for today, so that if people missed writing them down, they know what they are. So go ahead, list the crystals we talked about.
Yeah. So we talked about mookaite jasper.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about bronzite. We talked about turquoise, sunstone, and moss agate. Those were the ones today. And the only one I didn't get to was opal, but we'll talk about opal maybe on the next one.
Okay. We'll hang on to that for the future.
Yes,
and tell people, we're never going to run out of crystals, right?
I know. So, there's over 5,000 different crystals, so there's always more to talk about. Yeah,
and I can tell people Kim knows about all of them. So tell people how to get a hold of you, if they're here in Washington State, or if they can find you, how they can find you online and work with you.
Yeah, so we have a physical shop that's been around for 30 years. And if you're in Washington, or either permanent or visiting or whatever, we're at 46 Lakeshore Plaza in Kirkland. 98033 is the zip. We're actually down by the Marina Park in Kirkland, Washington. You can call me at 425-828-3872. Or if you're not in state and you want to do online, you can check out our main website is earthlightgems.com. It has all kinds of information as well as links to our Facebook and our Etsy. But if you want to go directly to Etsy, it's earthlightgems.etsy.com. And we have, on average, about 1,700 to 1,800 items listed on our Etsy. But, of course, way more things available. You just can let me know, and I can help you out.
Awesome. Great. Kim, thank you so much for joining us today. We will be in
touch.
Thanks,
Robin.
And everyone, really, Kim is a wonderful source of not just knowledge about crystals, but her crystals are healthy. And I can't tell you how important that is, because we want to bring crystals into our life for their beauty, for the things that they can support us with, our animal families, our other human families, like our gardens, like we're talking about today. But if the crystals themselves aren't healthy, you're going to be spending a lot of time trying to get them that way, or literally having to give up on them and get some others. And that's why it's important to find people like Kim to work with. And she's the best. So find her, Kim Villines, her husband, Todd Villines, Earthlight Rocks and Gems in Kirkland, Washington. And what was that? Earthlightgems.com. And if you go to that website, you can find their Etsy store there, a link for that, and their phone number. So, Kim, thanks again for joining us today.
Thanks again, Robin. I hope you guys all have a wonderful spring.
Thanks. Take care. And so we're back here with a wrap-up for today. It's always so fascinating to hear what Kim knows about crystals. And always forget that they really do have practical uses, and she's the one that knows about that. So check that out. So what's coming up next? Well, I have a couple of webinars that I'm inviting you to take a look at. On Tuesday, April 10th at 5:30 Pacific time, 8:30 Eastern time, I'm offering a webinar at the Learn It Live platform, and you can find the link there on my website. You can find it here at the show. It's experts.omtimes.com/Robin Fritz. And it's a meditation to heal and connect with your dead. So it's free. You're going to have an opportunity to get grounded and balanced in the space with us in the meditation. Find a healing space. Find a special gift that will help you connect with your dead on your own. And then in the meditation, I'm going to walk you through connecting with your dead on that, so you will have your own private moment to connect with your dead, human or animal. And that will leave you with the ability to connect with your dead on your own, some tips for doing that. It's really going to be an awesome healing time for us to work together. And again, inviting you to join me on Tuesday, April 10th at 5:30 Pacific and 8:30 Eastern. And then my webinar series I had to postpone for last month because I just got ahead of myself. Webinar series on managing your energy boundaries. Truly the most important thing you can do in your life is learn how to manage your energy field, your energy boundaries, so that you can be the best at home and at work. So you can really thrive in what you want to do in the world. And the truth of it is, none of us have really learned that. It's not something you're taught in school. And Fallon and I have created a unique way of helping people see their own individual energy field. So there's theory in the class and practice, but a lot of one-on-one time with me, as well as practice time with each other. So that's why I'm keeping it a limited maximum of 25 people. But even 6 is a lot there, and we'll be working with each other. So you get one-on-one time with me to explore your energy boundary. And we're doing it over 5 weeks so that you have time to experiment with it during the week, but not be so overwhelmed that you can't, do the rest of your life, because that's what it's all about, managing your energy boundaries. $100, but that's a lot less than you'd pay just for an hour of my time. And we're going to have a private Facebook page. So it's going to be awesome. I've taught this for a number of years now. Healthcare professionals getting, additional certification for their work. So I know it works. Whether you're feeling overwhelmed with life's issues, or whether you just want to be even better, this is the opportunity for you to really enhance yourself. You will find that your intuition and your healing abilities are expanded by learning how to manage your energy boundaries. So, upcoming radio shows. Next week, April 2nd, we're going to be talking about, yes, you can connect with your dead. And really what that's all about, I work as a medium with my dad, but we can all connect with our dead, and we're going to talk about that, human and animal. I'm going to have lots of stories for you on how that works, and it'll prepare you for April 10th show, or April 10th webinar. On Monday, April 9th, nutrition, fitness, and well-being with nutritionist and fitness expert Amy Walker from the UK. And she'll also introduce her Wake Up Global Summit. On April 16th, Kim Villines will be back to talk about crystals, your life with crystals. April 23rd, what is energy really? And I have some really amazing news stories to talk about with you about energy, so tune in for that. And April 30th, what about fairies, angels, and our daily lives? Yeah, what are fairies? What are angels? How does that work for you? So, to end the day, hands on your heart, cross your hands over your heart, breathe into the palms of your hands, then hold your palms in front of your face. Feel the air of your breath on your palms. Imagine that as energy. Cross your hands back on your heart. This is grounding you back into your body, releasing that connection to Fallon so your crown chakra will close down. Thank you for joining us today. We'll look forward to seeing you again next week. Have any questions, want to connect with me, to work with me, email me at my website, robinfritz.com, ROBYNFRITZ.com. Thank